Erin, what stands out to you when you're looking at a schedule release?
I mean, you guys know I was going to be looking for a rematch of what happened in the Super Bowl last season. I am still bitter about it. The Philadelphia Eagles are bitter about it. So I wanted to see if they were going to play each other again, and that they are. If you take a look at the Monday Night Football schedule, these two are going to face each other once again. You're going to see that in Week 11. I wish it was a little bit earlier in the season, but nonetheless, the Eagles will go to Arrowhead. But guys, really, it's about finding some of these really fun, intriguing matchups for me. That's what I get most excited about. It gives me something to look forward to sometimes throughout the NFL season when, of course, there's just so many games each and every single week. So that's one that I definitely had circled on my calendar, so I can't wait to watch a rematch of last year's Super Bowl.
Yeah, we got some pretty good games on that ESPN Monday night slate, starting with Rodgers versus Allen, then the Super Bowl 57 rematch. Joe, what things do you look for when the schedule comes out?
Situational spots for gamblers. We can look at Monday night, we can look at Thanksgiving, but we're looking for situational spots. I like National Lampoon's European Vacation. Good evening. My family and I are looking for pause. Can't finish that on TV. We'll move on. The Euro games. 66 teams have played in London since the NFL went across the pond. 56 have opted to take a bye the following week. I want you to look at the 10 who came back from London and didn't take a bye. Their opponent has had a good time scoring points. The team total over for those teams, 7-3. Here's an example. Packers in London last year. They come home. They host the Jets. Jets team total 18.5. Jets go on to score 27 points. They win the game outright. You want to bet team total overs in that spot. We have 4 of them this year. Atlanta versus Houston in week 5. You want to play Houston's team total over. Buffalo versus the Giants week 6. Giants over. Jacksonville versus the Colts week 6. Colts over. Baltimore versus the Lions in week 7. Lions over.
Why? Because you think it's gimme wins or more likely wins.
Team totals. When we've seen historically, the defenses come back from London. They do not get stops. They give up a lot of points. Those team totals, 7-3 to the over.
Remember that. Write it down. There are months until these games happen after all. So Erin's looking at it from an emotional investment standpoint. You're looking at it from a gambling standpoint. Liz, from a fantasy standpoint, how are you looking at the schedule release?
I like to see who has the easiest start to the season. I want those tomato cans early so I can stack some dubs and not have to pull myself out of a potential hole. And also, I am looking at buys. I know that that's a little bit controversial in fantasy now, but if you look at weeks 7 and 13, those are buy-mageddon weeks.
Oof.
And week 10, well, hello stars, those are going to be benched in week 10 and unusable for fantasy purposes. So just something to consider as you're drafting.
Yeah.
So does that affect the playoffs as well, or we're not there yet by week 13?
I think it depends how your team is contending down the stretch,
Right.
but
But
probably
week 13 is not the fantasy playoffs, though.
depending on which
league,
format you use.
It can be, but usually it'll be 14, 15,
That's right.
16, maybe 15, 16, 17, depending on the league that you're in. Mike Clay is with us as well. Good evening to you, Michael Clay. We'll be civil with each other for the next couple of hours, but we heard Liz talking about looking for those tomato cans. You'll try, I'll try, we'll do our best. We're professional here. She's talking about those tomato cans. Who does have maybe, in your estimation, based on your model, the easiest or consequently on the other side, hardest schedules now that we've seen them?
Yeah, so I'm looking at more from the overall NFL standpoint, not necessarily just fantasy, although it kind of applies here. And the easiest schedule is the Saints. I mean, did you see, just look over the schedule, look at the quarterbacks they're going to face this season. Just inside the division, it's Bryce Young, twice a rookie, obviously. Desmond Ridder is unproven in his second season. Kyle Trask or Baker Mayfield with the Buccaneers. That's already 6 of their 17 games. They get the AFC South and the NFC North as well. I mean, the hardest quarterbacks they may play are like the likes of Kirk Cousins and Justin Fields this season. Even their unique games, Mac Jones, Matthew Stafford, Daniel Jones. I mean, you look at the 7 Super Bowl favorites this season per Caesars, none of them are on the Saints schedule this year. So this schedule looks beautiful. We're trying to figure out who can win this division, and it looks like the Saints have the best slate there. And then on the other side, it is really the AFC East combined, but really the New England Patriots really stand out. That division is 4 of the best defenses in the NFL, so it's definitely going to make it a challenge for all 4 teams, perhaps some low-scoring games. But the Patriots also draw the NFC East and the AFC West. That means games against the 2 Super Bowl teams, the Chiefs and the Eagles, as well as the Cowboys, the Giants, the Chargers. They were all in the playoffs last year as well and still have pretty good rosters. So it could be trouble in the AFC East this season if they're trying to get, maybe a second wild card team in there. Might be a challenge.
All right.
I think the Patriots only favored in like 3 games. We'll see what the odds
7.5 that win total for Bill Belichick.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.